You need to be putting your business out there. It needs to have an open and constant message on social and digital marketing. Hi, if we haven't met before, my name is John Ruman. I'm an international business coach, consultant, and corporate trainer. I'm actually having a 7-week course coming up here soon, Wednesday as a matter of fact, and the course is going to be actually discussing in week 4 social media marketing. So today I'm going to hit why it's so important for businesses to actually have a social media presence and some kind of basic steps you can do to move you in that direction. So even if you're attending my course, you'll still find this of value. So hopefully you have at least a Facebook page at a minimum. Depending on if you're B2B or B2C business, should determine whether you have a LinkedIn page or not, and if you have a US-based company or not would determine if you would use Twitter, and then if you have a 18 to 45 demographic, then you would begin to use Instagram. In Trinidad, where I'm located, at least for now, Snapchat does not exist as a platform except for those who are very young. That being said, it is the fastest growing platform, with a second being Instagram. And Instagram is a much bigger platform, so it makes sense. But Snapchat, if you're not aware of it, think of it as if you go into Facebook or Instagram and they have the stories function, the entire social media is based on stories. In other words, 15-second clips that determine your post. So it's kind of a different platform, but there's a FOMO, fear of missing out component, the scarcity component, which is why it's so popular. So for those of you who don't understand, so that's kind of social media. So let me hit you a little bit in the digital marketing spectrum because I think you'll find it beneficial. Websites are still important. A website is a representation on the digital space of your organization. It's your online business card, for lack of a better term. Even if you don't have a website, you can make a one-page splash landing page that has much higher representation than even old web pages. So don't necessarily be resistant to it. It's not expensive. I would always encourage to have someone who knows what they're doing to help you, but if you don't, you can use several of the hosting platforms that can do a well enough job for most people. Again, once your business is at a certain level, around for a year or more, I would seriously consider looking at a website. Unless it's something that you don't need credibility, or you'll never have products that allow you to channel them to your website. You know, these kinds of things may or may not happen depending on what you do. Regardless, you do need a social media platform. I actually ran into a business a few weeks ago that has kind of a set group of clientele, but they aren't really known as the people who create like there's products they create that have brands that everyone knows. And the challenge they have is, do I create a digital market or a digital presence, and is this something that people would benefit from or not? In other words, would they grow because they spent some time and energy doing this? My opinion is yes, that they could probably very easily create that niche within as opposed to what they do now. And I could probably brainstorm with them in 10 or 15 minutes and come up with several product lines that they could actually be using that they're not using now, that leverage their skill set to the social media world. Long story short, even companies that don't seem like there's a correlation with the need for digital media and social media, there is. People are going to visit you. If they can know there's a presence for you in their periphery, you have a higher chance of being hired rather than being someone who's been around for a while but doesn't have any kind of existence. So, and a couple things on the digital media, social media specifically. Try to continually provide value. Try to use stories. Try to use images and pictures, mix them up, because some people will just look at the picture and some people will watch the entire video. Understand and try to pay some attention to the rules that social media has, not necessarily the rules, the preferences that the platforms have. For example, the reason you're seeing me now is because I'm on Facebook streaming this right now. And what happened is Facebook told people who like my page, and they probably maybe a little bit people other than them, that I'm live. And what it allows it is to show up in people's feeds, even just people who like my page. And it allows me to expand my reach little by little. So live, although it can be nerve-wracking, allows you to get your word out there without spending money. It involves time. It requires you to come up with content that's of value. But trust me, you have a message the world needs to hear. So if you're not spreading that message, now's a great time to start. Actually, earlier today, Rachel, who is the executive assistant on our team, did a live, and it was incredible. Thank you, Rachel, if and when you see this. You are great. So what I would invite you is, if you feel remotely insecure about any of the following: your mindset for success. Do you have negative self-talk? Do you beat yourself up? Is your business not as financially strong as you'd like it to be? Would you like your business to be stronger than it is today? Even if you don't have a business, this course would work well for you. Do you have KPIs set up for your organization? And if you don't know what a KPI is, you need to take this class. How often do you spend on growing the product and services that you offer? The topic of today's call: how often do you do social media marketing, or do you really try to develop that? How are you growing your sales, customer service, referrals, etc.? What are you doing to develop your team? How is your office space being developed? And last but not least, how are you managing your time, and how are you delegating? If any of these topics are of interest to you, you came to the right place. And let me tell you what is going to happen. So the course starts on Wednesday night. It goes for 7 weeks. Each class will have an hour and 15-minute live teaching session. I'm trying to keep the groups small, so there will not be huge groups for each group. And what I will do is answer questions and tailor it as much as I can to the group I'm actually talking to, and provide the high-value content. If you're aware of my material, you'll probably notice that most of the weeks, the topics of the weeks I'm talking about, are actually classes and workshops I've done before. So what I'm taking is a condensed but very meaty pulling of data from those workshops to give you kind of the hard-hitting stuff. So it's going to be really great, and really of great value. So they will be live on Wednesday night, so 1 week from this Wednesday. They start now at 7 p.m. and they end at 8:15, and that's Trinidad time. So those who are not in Trinidad, it'll be off by whatever your time zone is. And what else? The investment is $1,200 TT dollars. You can do half up front and half in the 5th week, or the online version, and unfortunately it's only one payment, but it's $180 US for that. So that is the investment. It'll be well worth your time. You're going to love it. It'll help you to get to where you need to go. I appreciate the opportunity to help you today. I'd love your feedback on anything I should be talking about when it comes to the social media. And if there's any questions you have or areas you think I should be answering, please ask them so I can answer them on a live for you. Thanks so much.